Hello friends, Tanya here for Trinity Stamps, and today we are going to be playing with a beautiful hot foil plate called Foiling Florals. There are two pieces to this set. There is the foil plate and a die. We're going to take some Aura foil, tape that to some white cardstock, a nice smooth 80-pound cardstock, put that on my platform, heat it up, and run it through the die cut machine. And then we're going to remove this hot plate using our magnet because it is very warm, and we are going to have this gorgeous floral bouquet. I did that in Aura. I've also done it here in gold, and I was really just playing. These were the two first foils I did with this foil plate, and I love it. Then I'm going to take and die cut this image that we foiled with the coordinating die, and then I had also foiled it with some rainbow foil. Can you see the different colors in the foiling here? My thought was, well, let's do a rainbow coloring. So I pulled out some coordinating colors from my Copic stash. That you don't have to have a specific one of those colors. Many of different colors will work. I just took a pink, a red, a yellow, a green, a blue, and a purple, and I went to town coloring on these. And my thought was to do some blending with just some little sketchiness, and then it kind of evolved. I was coloring the rose, and it just wasn't looking as good as I wanted it with the little flicks, so I decided to go ahead and color in the entire rose using different colors of marker and trying to blend with the transitions. They aren't perfect blends, but I really like the fairly artistic look of this. It's almost an abstract, artistic look, graphic design, maybe. I don't know. I'm just throwing words out, aren't I? I just really liked the way this rainbow actually was coming together. Now the foliage, I decided to keep the sketchy look to, the just little strokes of color, not filling the entire part, but on the floral parts themselves, I actually colored those in completely. This is a really dark purple, and a little bit lighter purple might have been better, but hey, I like the way it blends with the blue. Now this is kind of perfect for Mother's Day, which is approaching very soon. And if you wanted to get this foiling plate before Mother's Day, now's a good time for me to be highlighting it. I haven't seen a whole lot of stuff done with this yet, and I don't know why, because it is absolutely gorgeous. And I'm going to show you 3 ways to do this, or 3 ways to use this. Here we've got that beautiful floral rainbow, and then I pulled out the rainbow pack, I can't remember the name of it, but it'll be linked in the description box below, just like all of the other supplies. And I'm going to make a 4-bar card. I'm still on that 4-bar train. I am loving that size so much. I also die cut a layer of shimmery white cardstock and adhered all of that to the front of a 4-bar card. And now I'm pulling out some of the different Happy Mother's Day sentiments that we have available. There's a few different stamp sets that have them, and I'll have those linked in the description box below also. And then we've got this banner. I didn't want to make this an actual Mother's Day card. I did want to make this as a thank you card. This actually ended up being used as a thank you card for our cabin attendant on our cruise that we went on recently. And I thought it was a fairly gender neutral way to have a card, because you just don't know what your attendants are going to be. And then I decide I want to add a rainbow sentiment on the inside. I happen to have this rainbow ink pad. You could do this in a number of ways. If you've got 3 colors you want to blend together to create your rainbow, you could do that. If you happen to have a rainbow ink pad, you could do that, or you could just do this in black. I'm just taking one of the sentiments from the Thank You, Simply Sentimental Thanks stamp set, one of the main and one of the sub-sentiments, and those are complete in that card. And now we're going to move on to the second card. I've got the Happy Mother's Day Scripty Mother's Day, I think it's called. And it has the outline and the shadow dies and the word dies. I've taken some mirror cardstock, not foil cardstock, I think it's called Petal Pink, and this is a Tonic Studio specialty paper. I just love that stuff. And I have foiled our bouquet in purple foil on a purple cardstock. It's not perfect, but that's okay. We're still going to use it. I did try it twice. I flipped it over on the other side of the paper and foiled it a second time and got it a little better the second time. I think I did another shim on it. And now we're going to take a couple of the happy words from Simply Sentimental Happy. And it had a coordinating die there that you saw that was a little rectangle. So I'm going to heat emboss these in silver. And we'll get that heat set, and then we'll use that little die to cut out both of these words, and we'll use those to highlight the bigger word. This is an A2 sized card, I believe, and I used the Modern Embossed A2 stack to die cut the different layers of that front for the card. I used the shimmery white again and the purple, so they'll have several layers there, 2 layers. And then we're just going to die cut these words quickly with that little die that comes in the kit, in the dies for the Simply Sentimental Happy. I'm going to add some spatters because it just looked too stark, too plain for me. So I've got some liquid pixie dust here and a little bit of the purple Atelier ink. I can't remember the purple name right off the top of my head. Is it grape? Something grape? Grape jam, maybe? Anyway, we'll have that linked in the description box below also. And did you know that Trinity Stamps is also available on scrapbook.com now? So if you aren't able to find a goodie on the Trinity site, then you could certainly look there also. We're going to adhere these different layers to the front of the card here, and we're going to add our own little extra touches here in just a minute. And here you can see where I foiled that on the back of the cardstock and ended up flipping it over. This particular color of foil is a little more finicky. You will find that different colors of foils work better than others, and some of them work very well on white but not so much on colored cardstock, or with solid images versus line images. You'll have varying results. Just play with it and release yourself, allow yourself to do some experimentation. That's what this craft is all about, being able to play and create and go with the flow. I did add a little dimension behind these different layers, and I'm just lining these up. I'm just going to eyeball them. They, again, don't have to be perfect. I can imagine this in a whole array of colors. You could make this work for whatever your mom's favorite colors are. Or you could even do this with an ink blended background. I love the shimmer of that in the background. Next, I pulled out some of the purple gems from Trinity Stamps. There's several different colors that would have worked, but I went with this darker purple because I wanted them to really stand out and add some extra shimmer and shine and boldness to this card. We're going to use our little pickup stick, and there is a new one in the store. You can also get some replacement tips for the original one, I believe. Take a look at that online. This next one, I decided to pull out the Atelier ink re-inkers that I keep in these little paint palettes. And I'm going to mix my own more of a olive green, I think I did for one of these, and one is a little bit brighter. And we're going to use the, not the Maryland red, it's the Petunia pink, is for the actual blossoms. I've got 2 different colors of green, and these Atelier inks mix very well to create new colors. They're very much an artist quality. These little branches here, I'm coloring like pussy willows. I don't know if you've seen them in real life, but they have brown and white components to them. And for the brown components, I used the Twiggy Brown ink, and I didn't add any changes to that. And I added a little dab of the liquid pixie dust to the white portions of what would be the pussy willows. And I think that really turned out wonderful. You'll notice that the foiling really resists the paint. So it makes the watercoloring, and this was watercoloring, but it wasn't on watercolor paper, but it makes the watercoloring just so much more vibrant and beautiful. Next, I took some of that Petunia Pink ink and I smushed it on a piece of stamp packaging. And I smushed my paper. Well, first I smushed the acetate right into the paper, and then I added more ink and did the same, and I did some liquid pixie dust in there to add some shimmer. And next we're going to add some Maryland red. I wanted a little more depth of color, a little more color variation. And this was a scrap of cardstock, what was left after cutting down a slimline. So this is bigger than I need, so I will use this Mini-Slimline stitched and the Scalloped Dainty Scallops Mini-Slimline to create a couple of layers, again using that shimmer white cardstock. Oh, and I apologize, thought I muted all of my devices, but somebody's still not muted. Oh, so sorry. Layering up the different elements of this card front. I didn't add any extra dimension behind either of these layers. Just going to use some of my liquid glue. You can use whatever adhesive floats your boat. And I did add an extra layer of cardstock. I had die cut a scrap of white cardstock with the same die, and I will adhere these together to give it a little extra height. I really like how this one turned out. It's probably close to my favorite of these because I really enjoy painting, and I love how the pussy willows turned out with the combination of the brown and then the shimmer white, or the liquid pixie dust. Turned out just gorgeous, and that was an impulse. I didn't know what I was going to do with those until the very last second. So now we have this adhered, and I want to add some of these pretty little pearls. This is called Something New, also from the Trinity embellishments. And we're just going to add a scattering of glue dots here to decide where I want those. And of course, I think I went overboard again. I tend to do that. I just really like the way the embellishments are so easy to pick and just add to your card. And since there is already some dimension on this card, it's not like you have to worry about the extra lumpy bumpies because you already have them on there. I do end up making a coordinating envelope for every one of these. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know which of these 3 different unique ways to use this foiling plate was your favorite. Do you have a favorite, or do you just want to use them all? If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please take a moment to do that now. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're interested in any of the products I used today, check that description box below. They're listed and linked there as always. Here are a couple more videos we thought you might enjoy. Until next time, bye-bye.